it's not often that a guest brings his own song with him. Timothy Morton in the house. Hey there, Tim. How you doing?
Real good. Sometimes it's Timoteo, right?
Timoteo. That's what you are to me, my brother. Advisors, it says here in investment news, advisors fall short on implementation of long-term care insurance. Most know it's a key part of retirement planning, but lack in-depth knowledge when the need for care arises. Tim Morton, Westland Financial, his company, along with Gene Pastula and the Safe Money Monitor, these guys deal in this all the time. But it says here you guys aren't doing a very good job training your brokers.
Well, that may be the traditional long-term care insurance brokers, but we specialize because again we work with financial planners, and what's their job? Their job has been to grow wealth, and they don't really spend a whole lot of time on long-term care. So there are traditional long-term care insurance sales folks that just specialize in that. That's not really where our expertise is. Our expertise is trying to get the financial planners to present this to their clients.
So you're out talking to guys like I used to be in the business, and I will tell you, I'll be very, very honest with you. When I was in the planning business, I used to refer it all out to somebody like a Lynn Rowe, who I did refer a lot to, because that's what her area of specialization is. She gave up her financial planning practice because it is overwhelming. All the stuff that you need to know today with all the products and the riders and the linked benefit plans and all that stuff. I couldn't keep up with that and still be a stock, bond, annuity guy, all that. It was just impossible.
That's exactly right. We have a great team at our shop that just support all of these types of products. And we work with financial planners and we work directly with consumers.
All right, so let's talk about this. I think you heard me kind of tease this going into the break, and I'm extremely passionate about it. I've been much more so over the last several years as I brag about the fact that when I was 58 and my wife was 55, we bought our long-term care insurance policies. We still haven't gotten any kind of a rate increase. A lot of people have, complained about rate increases, but there's a reason that there's a rate increase, right?
Correct, right. And I bought mine when I was 42, my wife and I. So ours are.
That was last year, wasn't it?
Yeah. Well, it's been a while, but we actually have, and we had the 5% inflation
COLA. I've
rider.
got a 5% COLA too.
And those are the policies that are most targeted for rate increases because the current interest rate environment for this long period of time has really affected those, and the benefits are exceeding what the insurance companies can earn on their own portfolios.
Now, of course, I've read all the statistics. You have them. 70% of husbands and wives are going to experience at least one person in a nursing home or need home health care or whatever. I look at that and I say, you know what? The odds are either 0% or 100%. There's really no, if it's you, it's 100%. So how do you, you can't plan around those kinds of averages, like retirement planning. Well, the odds are 50% that you or your wife's going to make it to 95 or longer. Well, what if it is you and you haven't made any provisions? You're in the business of helping people manage the risks of dying too soon, living too long, or getting sick along the way. That's what you do every single day. It's why at a cocktail party, nobody wants to talk to you.
I try to make that, I try to be a little bit more personable than that, but we do talk about these things every day with clients, and it is somebody's got to bring these things up. If a financial planner that you're working with doesn't do it, then you got to work with somebody like our firm that does. And we love to work with the financial planners who do bring these things up.
You love to be a downer. You love to go to the cocktail party. When everybody's talking about, deflate gate and all that stuff, you say, oh, by the way, have you gotten your long-term care insurance taken care of?
Yeah, by the way, we're all, half of us are going to either experience an Alzheimer's event or live with somebody who does.
All right, on a serious note, Tim, I study retirement planning for a living. This is what I do every day, multiple hours a day. And it always comes down to a couple of things. It comes down to, are you utilizing the tools that we have available, such as annuities? Nobody wants to talk about annuities, but they are important tools in financial planning. Are you providing for some kind of post-retirement health care, Nobody wants to talk about it. But at $91,750 a year, or like I said, in an Alzheimer's unit in Connecticut, it's $137,000 per year. That can even take middle class to wealthy people down. And finally, leaving a legacy behind for the kids and the grandkids. I don't know about you. You've got kids. I know them. You have great kids. But I want to leave something behind, in particular for my grandkids, because I don't think they're going to have the same breaks that you and I have had, having lived through the greatest bull market boom time, really, in economic history.
Well, and that's really important, right? And this is serious business. You know, when somebody gets sick and they need care, or they don't want to be a burden to their family, well, all the other things go out the window. It doesn't matter that I got 7% rate of return on my portfolio. That's the last thing you're going to think about. You're going to, if your wife gets diagnosed with cancer, what's the first thing you're going to think about? Is what's my health care provisions? What's down the road for us if something the worst should happen? And so if we have to talk about these things. If we don't, then who will?
But the question isn't talk. And I talk with Lynn and Gene about this all the time. I want action. Right. We can talk till we're blue in the face, but getting people to move is so darn hard. I know that because as an advisor in years past, I've been there. And people just don't want to part with the check.
Right, and that's why we developed the one strategy, which was the asset-based long-term care. It's just a repositioning of a portfolio, a portion of your safe money from one pocket into the other pocket. You still have control of it. It's still cash in your portfolio. But guess what? If you pass away, it might double tax-free. And if you get sick, it might be worth 5 or 6 times as much for long-term care, all tax-free. So that kind of a strategy is just taking it just from maybe a CD account or a money market account and repositioning it so it's still in your portfolio, you're still in control.
Yeah, I can't emphasize this enough. For individuals that just flat won't write a check, it's basically repositioning assets. It's on your balance sheet. You got it in your left pocket. You got 100 grand. It's going to sit there. If you need it for an emergency, put it in your right pocket. It can still sit there. If you need it for an emergency, it's available. But the 100,000 turns into 200 grand, say if you croak, and 500,000 bucks if you need it for long-term care, all tax-free. Meanwhile, if you don't croak, I mean, everybody's going to croak eventually. But if you need 50 grand because you saw some hot condo in Florida you wanted to buy, great. Pull the 50 grand out, pay it back over the next 5 years. Or don't pay it back. Instead of getting 200,000 if you croak, you get 150,000. Did I say that right?
Exactly right. And the other thing, you talked about insurance earlier, and maybe somebody has a cash value life insurance product that they really don't need as much life insurance because they're retired and they don't really care about their kids anymore as far as leaving that big legacy. But what can you do with that money? Maybe we can just reposition that cash value into a new life insurance product, maybe reduce the death benefit a little bit, but add a long-term care rider. So now you have that 250 goes down to 200,000 of death benefit, but the entire 200,000 is available for long-term care. That would be a great change for that same policy.
What did you think of my strategy on the life settlement thing? That person that's going to cash in their insurance policy for $36,000 could actually sell it and get $86,000 and do the same thing, and they could get a lot more long-term care insurance with 86 grand than with 36 grand.
That's a strategy. We don't do a lot of life settlement. It just, and there's a lot of state regulations and things around those types of products. Again, it's called, foreign owned or as a non-related person's going to own life insurance on you. That's, you would have to do with an institution. I wouldn't recommend an individual or those kinds of companies.
I wouldn't either, but it is a way. I mean, we look for a lot of different ways to create cash. And again, my emphasis here is getting people to act and write a check. So if I can turn 30,000 into 80,000, and they now have $80,000 to write that check, maybe they could put the 30 grand in their pocket and take the other free money and buy the long-term care insurance. You see, I think we have to start getting really creative as planners, advisors, and so forth to help people not only emphasize how critical it is that they do something, but help them find the money to do it, because our general nature is to not want to buy this stuff.
right? Most people procrastinate. You know, no matter, even if you did explain exactly what you just said to do, most people are going to think about it, and they'll do their own research on today's internet, and it just takes forever to make decisions. What I like to really educate our financial planners, and when you come to us to work, is that we try to recommend. You know, why just educate? You know, make a choice and recommend it, and then stick to your guns.
All right, Tim Morton, Westland Financial. Go to safemoneymonitor.com, and if you're a financial planner or an advisor, go to safemoneymonitor.com. He only works with 6,000 of y'all. If you're a consumer, an individual, just like me, go to safemoneymonitor.com. He's got all the information you need: long-term health care, life insurance, annuities, and a fixed insurance product. Thank you, Tim.